Hey guys, Pablo here. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about a project that is called BoarWar. This is a retro-styled, turn-based strategy game, and we have an NFT collection in this one. Like, not just one NFT collection actually. There will be more than one NFT collection, but for right now they have released one of the NFT collection of the BoarWars, of the boars actually. So you can mint boars, and in this video I'm personally going to mint a boar NFT in front of you guys. Right now the price is 0.04 Ethereum, but it will be much more worth in the future, in the near future, when they're going to have their game launched and people will play the game. There will be different modes, there will be a lot of things in this. So in this video we're going to cover everything that the game is going to have. It is based on the functions, the mechanisms, all the revenue stream, how we can earn, about the lands. So everything will basically be covered in this video, and in the end of the video, before we talk about the roadmap, I'll show you guys how you can mint the boar NFT that we have right now for 0.04 Ethereum, and that's not including the gas fees because it is on the Ethereum. So you can check it out on the OpenSea too, that I'll show you guys. So that's what we're going to do in this video. The game is really amazing with all its functionality and everything else, and it's very addictive. So we'll take a look at the sneak peek of the gameplay too. So if you have any question, of course you can ask me in the comments or on my Telegram, or I'll provide you guys with links of this, the project. So make sure that you check them out, you follow them on there, and you ask them questions there. And just know that this is not an investment or a financial advice. I am investing because this is my personal interest, but I'm not asking you guys to invest because I'm asking you guys to do your research and consider this project, and then it's up to you. So make sure that you consider all those things. Now, without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Now, this is the official website of BoarWar, and we're actually going to mint a boar NFT, which I'll be doing right here. Simply just clicking on the mint option, and then I'm going to go for the MetaMask and stuff like those. But before that, we need to understand this project. We need to understand the game itself, because that's the major, the core of the project. So if you want to understand this game better, take yourself back, back in the past, where we had concepts of dynasties. So when you imagine, because this is a retro style turn-based strategy game, it's a retro style, so that means they're basically imitating the fashions or concepts that we had in the past, and that was of the dynasties. So if you imagine a dynasty, what do you imagine? What do you see when you imagine dynasties? You imagine vast amount of lands. You imagine different dynasties that basically fight with each other. And when you talk about dynasties, you have this concept of rulers who then pass on the rulership or ownership to their offsprings. And then we have different classes of people, because it's the old time, so there's not equal, although they're supposed to be equal, but they're not equal. You have different class, and those classes have different categories, and each have their own privileges. And then we have weapons. We have people that gather resources, and they build the dynasties. And so basically all those things that you imagine, then you also have concepts of making offsprings or reproducing to make offsprings, to which your inheritance is passed to. So imagining a dynasty, all the concepts and mechanisms that you have in there, you have all of them in here. So we're gonna move forward. Just keep this picture in mind so you can understand this whole thing better. We have the BoarWar NFT collection. So your warriors on the battlefield are 8,000 unique and beautifully designed boars equipped with varying weapons and boasting their own distinct skill sets. BoarWar was inspired by our favorite literary works, as well as some of the most notable games in the genre, such as Heroes of Might and Magic, Gwent, Games of Thrones, and obviously Animal Farm. Our goal is to build a game that is rather easy to get into, but just as addictive as the best games of the late 90s. So these I wouldn't say card games, but these retro style turn-based strategy games, or generally strategy games, they're very addictive. Like a while ago, I wouldn't be able to understand the concept, why the hell are they so addictive, because I couldn't find anything that makes them interesting. I'm rather interested in the first-person shooter games, so I never understood the concept until I actually started playing those, because I was introducing a lot of projects. And I actually understood the concept of why they are more addictive, and they're actually more addictive than any other genre of the game. And a lot of people that play the game will actually understand this concept much better, or this whole, thing about these games. So we're going to have 8,000 unique NFT boards in this one, like in this collection, and then afterwards we're going to talk about the roadmap. Afterwards there will be 5,000 female boars or borettes, and then when they arrive, and then in the game we can use them to reproduce and make offsprings. So and we're going to talk about why it is so essential to reproduce and make offsprings. So they're saying that they're equipped with varying weapons. This is actually passed on through inheritance to the offsprings, boasting their own distinct skill sets. So we have different class of boars we have, and those classes have different categories, and in total there's like 11 categories, and in total there's like I think 3 to 4 classes, but we're gonna confirm that. And then we have different factions of the land, of the dynasties, different types of lands. So we have like not just like plain lands, we have forests and mountains and stuff like those. Again, we're going to talk about details of this. And there's different skill sets that are assigned to different factions. But basically this is how it works. Again, if you imagine dynasties, you'll understand this project better. So if we talk about the gameplay, it says at its core, BoarWar is a retro style turn-based and strategy card strategy game. Gameplay involves, so if you come down here, you can actually take a look at the gameplay that we have right here. It is a retro style turn-based strategy games. So you take your turn and then the other person take turn. We have 2 modes, the combat mode and the adventure or the exploration mode. Currently we have the combat mode, and I think that other mode is coming in the future. So this is a combat mode or 1-on-1 combat mode. You can see you have the cards, you place them, and then the enemy, like your turn is over, and then the other person plays their cards. They arrange it by their own choices, and then you choose your card, you attack because it is your turn, or you want to go to defense, or you can either pull them out of change. And then this one, he decided to attack that, and since he had more power and the other one had a lower defense or shield, he was able to take that out. So, and then when the other team has a turn, they take the turn and do the same thing until which one has more left. So I'm not sure how the win is determined at this point, but this is how the gameplay will actually be about, and this is how it will be played. This is the combat mode, and then we're gonna have another mode in the future. So exciting quests and campaigns, as well as PvP combat. So these exciting quests and the campaigns will be in the exploration mode. And then despite a seemingly familiar formula, BoarWar brings profit to the table. Players can earn a native currency in-game by completing quests, owning each stage and winning battles. Our boars are equal, but some are more equal than the others. The boars are split into 4 classes. Each class includes several categories. The boar categories is defined. So we have 4 classes, and in total we have 11 categories. We have the elite class, which includes nobleman, crusader, knight. These are basically commanders. So these elite class, basically they have the ability to own lands. These other classes do not have the ability to own lands, but if they gain enough experience on battles, they can get the ability to own lands. And then we have the high class that includes wizard, merchants, jesters, which are basically spellcasters. And there's different factions of the map, because we have different infrastructures. So you can see that you have forest, you also have mountains, you have cave, and you have dead fields. And we have different boars that have distinct skills that you can use when they're in the right faction. So we have forest boars that will possess wood magic spells, and we have dead field boars that will be able to cast dark magic spells in the dead field. And basically this is how it works. And then we have assassin, warrior, bandit, which is basically middle class, and they are the heavy infantry. And then we have the low class, which includes beggar, naked, which is the light infantry. So this is the distribution of how this thing works. Now the concepts that we have, if you want to take a look at the details of all these things, you have the white paper, which basically covers the entire the concept. If you take a look at the table of contents, they explain the concept of the dynasties, which includes land ownership. It includes your NFT boars, and then the female NFT boars, and then you reproduce to make offsprings. One NFT boar, or the boar have a time period of about like 12 months, and then they're sent to a place that is, I think, called Akron Pantheon. So if you want to continue owning, have your ownership to the land, it's essential for you to reproduce offsprings, and you can do that with the help of a female boar, and then you pass on the ownership to that offspring, and that's how you continue the ownership of the land, which is basically just how it works in the dynasties. And then there's a lifespan that they have, which I just said is about like for 12 months. And then there's potency, the ability to reproduce offsprings. Not every one is going to have this. There's like a very high class NFT that may not be able to reproduce, and how much they will be able to reproduce, that's the concept covered in the potency. Then you have offsprings. Basically they mature in 7 days, and then they can hold the sword, and they can be able to use to fight. And then we talked about the concept of inheritance. We talked about inheritance of the land, but that's not just it. Offsprings also have the ability to inherit artifacts, lands, objects, and genes from their parent. And talking about the class, as I already mentioned, only the top class, elite class, have the ability to own lands. But if the other classes gain more experience in battles, they can get this ability too. And also you can make profit through land, but you can also only make profit if you have land, and if you're active. If you're not active, you don't make any profit, and you're actually forced to sell your lands at a lower price to the people who are active if you are inactive. So it's really important that people here in this game are active. And then we have characters, and you have items. So you have boars, male boars, female boars, and then you reproduce to make the offsprings. You have different factions, 4 factions that we talked about. We have different artifacts, and we have different classes. Again, we'll already talk about this. And then they talk about the gameplay, which I already just showed you guys. There's a battle score. If you win a battle, you get 1 point. If you lose, you get -1. And how can you move from one class to another? You need like 1000 BS for that, from jumping from one class to another. And then you have combat mode, paths, and armies. And then they talk about the token. So in this game, we have dual token economy. We have one that is the in-game currency that is used in the play to earn, that is actually rewarded to the people, and that is the acorn token. And then we have the truffle token, which is the governance token. So if you take a look at the white paper, we can actually take a look at the distribution of the truffle token, which will be it'll be launched in like Q1 of the next year, in the 2023. So these are the token comparisons. So we have truffle, which is the security token, which is the governance token, and then it has a supply cap of 300 million, which it'll be launched as, they're going to have an initial coin offering for this. There is no burning for this one. It is the use cases for this we have is governance, we have staking, and also for the breeding. And then we have the acorn, which is the utility token, the in-game currency token through which people are rewarded, because this is a play to earn game. There is no cap on the supply. It is fair launched. And then the burning is adjustable in this one. It is used in in-game activities, breedings, items, and stuff like those. And this is the supply schedule, and we can take a look at the distribution that is right here. But in the white paper, we have actually more details on this. So how it is distributed. So we have 12% public sale for retail investors, 4% for private sale, that is for the partners, large investors, 25% that is for the play to earn rewards. So it is for the community, and so forth. So you can get the details of all these things over here. But the point is, they have the dual token economy. So basically, we have talked about all these things. I know we have talked about a lot of things which can be confusing to understand, but again, if you just picture the concept of dynasties and then you play this game, it'll make things a lot easier for you, because the concepts are pretty similar in this one. We're gonna have 2 modes, which I already just mentioned, exploration mode and the combat mode. We have the combat mode. We're gonna talk about the roadmap on when we're going to have these things and when we can actually play the game. Right now, we can mint the NFTs, which is the option that we have right now, and which is something that I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to do that in front of you guys. So if you click on the mint button, you're taken to this place. It says how many boards would you like to buy? 0.04 Ethereum per board, max 10 per one transaction. So on the public, you can get it for like 0.04 Ethereum per board. I'm gonna go for 1. It says check your boards here, so we can check it out on the OpenSea, which is right here. It says buy more male boards, get female boards for free. So this is going to happen afterwards. I didn't know about this one actually, that they have this offer right here. If you get elite class board, you get the land for free. I think that's pretty amazing. I mean, getting an elite class board is already a pretty good luck that you have, and then you get a free land for it, which is really amazing. Now, all we have to do is basically select an amount that we want to buy. Maximum you can buy 10 boards per transactions. So click on mint and it will give you a notification on the wallet that you're using. In my case, it is MetaMask. You can see it costs 0.04 Ethereum, worth $115 as of current price. Gas fee is 33.99, which keeps on fluctuating. In total, it's about like $150 as for right now. And now 143 just keeps on, fluctuating and changing. So I'm gonna click on confirm. and it may take some while for this to mint. So let's see. And now, as you can see, it says success. You have just minted BoarWar NFT with ID this. You can see all your boars on the OpenSea. Simply click on this link, connect your wallet. In my case, it was MetaMask, and there you have it. So this is the NFT that I've minted right now in front of you guys. In the properties, basically, we can see all the properties of the NFTs, including its traits and the faction it belongs to, and everything else. So you can see accessories, earning 0.04. Have this, and then armory is assassin, faction is forest, which we have talked about, and then hat, jester hat, and so you can see all these things, and the weapon is dagger. So this is basically how it is done. It's a pretty simple formula, pretty simple method to mint NFTs. In this one, we already know what's going to happen, but still, let's take a look at the roadmap to see what they have planned for the future. So in April, which we're currently at, BoarWar initial NFT collection release, which is released, and you can actually buy it, you can actually mint it. I just minted in front of you guys, and then in the next month, in May, focus on community development and charity funds, and again in May they're going to bring another NFT collection of female birds of like 5,000 NFTs, I think. And then in July, they're going to launch of boar breeding functionality. In August, there will be land airdrops and public sale. In September, truffle token introduction. And then in the October, Bell game beta release. And then in the December, in-house item NFT marketplace release. So the game is going to, you know, have its beta release on October in this very year. So basically, yeah, so I think that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you have any questions still, you can ask me in the comments or on the Telegram, or I'll give you guys all the social media links so you can ask me there. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one shortly. So stay tuned. Disclaimer: trading digital assets involve significant risk and can result in the loss of your invested capital. You should ensure that you fully understand the risk involved and take into consideration your level of experience, investment objectives, and seek independent financial advice if necessary. It is up to you whether to invest or not.